Okay, so here is a video record of our house. Today is October 25th, 2015. We're like finishing the major overhaul we did of the backyard today, maybe tomorrow. You see the red across the porch because we just painted the porch. The brown trim at the very top and on the porch and on the foundation was done yesterday and today. It was a different color before. It was a kind of a cocoa with too much milk in it. Now it's dark chocolate. I think it looks better. Backyard project turned into the front yard project because it just did. So we have a brand new lawn planted about 140 days ago. I redid the park strip this year, one of them, two of them. Those two haven't been done yet, but I have plans to get them done. I put some portulaca seeds down and now they're blooming, so I can't touch them. I could, but I don't want to. But you see that I've pulled out all the hens and chickens, laid them out in kind of a artistic pattern. We'll see how they do. They're already rooted, so that's good. The gate across is new with our backyard project. The front yard got kind of ignored. Of course, everything got torn up to put the sprinkler system in. There's 20 heads in the park strip, literally, sprinkler heads, 20 of them. So all that got torn up. It was all filled up with some kind of a sedum that was choking out everything else. There's little bits of it here and there, if I could find it. Also, we have squirrels who come along, tear up the yard. They were rooted until the squirrels came. See, that one goes over here. There's a little guy. This is the kind of sedum that was covering the whole thing. It literally took over everything. So I pulled it all out. There's another one. I need to come back and take out the little ones that show up here and there because they really will grow out of nowhere. Haven't done it in a few days. So, but like I say, the front yard got a little bit ignored. All the dahlias that were in this front corner got torn out. They got mixed up because the landscape apprentice didn't know they needed to be kept sorted. So this poor little guy just came up about a month ago. It's going to bloom. I don't know what it is. We'll see when it comes up. The rest of them got put in they actually got put downstairs in plastic bags in my laundry room. And they were so anxious to grow that they were down in their plastic bags growing. So I've planted them about a week ago. I planted a few of them in the spring too. We'll go back there and see. But the tree is a weeping pussy willow tree. I have to literally chop it off at the bottom about once every week or two because it's so out of control. This is the second year for the rose. It's a floribunda. It's called Oh My, and it is, I didn't trim it down in the fall, so it's a little leggy. See the turtles, May and June are their names. See if I can get a good shot. This will be June. And there's May. They actually aren't attached to the ground, obviously, but I put some concrete and they've got a chain that chains them down so that they can't be stolen. Kind of clever. Tom thought of it. Okay, so this turned out good this year. It's a little bit overblown. I haven't deadheaded anything in a few days. But I had verbena, snapdragons, carnations, and then the dahlias. I'm hoping the dahlias will be back next year. The whole theme for the front yard is red and pink, a little bit of violet, a little bit of white. Okay, so here's the park strip that hasn't been redone. Just kind of things willy-nilly. I don't like willy-nilly, but that's how it is right now. Dolphin coming along. I hope it'll fill in soon. It has been a number of years, about 5 maybe. Well, 4 for sure anyway. It's growing. Everything is symmetrical if you see. Everything that's on this side is the same as it was on the other side. Same as I can get it anyway. Hopefully the dahlias will match each other. Could happen. Okay, so this fence is all new. It wasn't here. Get you a look at the other side, how much the neighbors have left for space. We had all open before. We took care of most of it, mowing and so on. Tree is new. Weeping Blue Atlas Cedar, it's called. Some people call it a Dr. Seuss tree, and it's literally doubled in size since we put it in, which is maybe late June, early July. So the idea is for it to be the fence. So it'll go to the sidewalk and then I'll cut it. I won't let it go any further. It's hard to get pictures of it, but it is dripping to the ground almost already. It's doing very well. All this grass is new. Some of these things I just pulled out from the front, or they got stuck in place. Some delphiniums my neighbor gave me. Finally coming along, but they're not going to bloom this year, I don't think. This hydrangea has been moved like 8 times. Well, not 8, probably 4 anyway. It was in the front. It was the only thing really very attractive in the front yard, but it's not been very happy. I've hacked it at a few times in the back for this reason and that reason. See that there's dirt moved away from the foundation because the foundation got painted just this morning. Little blue star juniper I'm hoping to make into a tree. Little tree. Kind of a freehand topiary with it, boxwood. This area is all empty. I didn't get to plant anything because we wanted to paint the fence and I didn't want it to be harder than it was going to be. So mostly it's empty, but I will put perennials, I don't know what, haven't decided yet. Got, ooh, what's going on there? Painting is not done. Camera shy. This is literally the very last touches on a long, long, long job. So if we move back here a little bit further, down here are 2 of the dahlias that were in the laundry room begging to live, and they've actually grown a great deal since they were planted a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago by now. These guys here were the ones I planted in the spring. Everything torn up, but I stuck them in the ground anyway, and most of them came up and are now blooming. Coreopsis came from the front yard. The azaleas came from the front yard. There's 3 little dahlias there also were in the laundry room and now are alive. And then you have our brand new yard. Grass looks like a golf course. It really does. I'm thinking a Rose of Sharon maybe around that pole. It's a light pole. We have a city light in our yard, believe it or not. So going backwards from the tour how I usually do it, but let's go this way. So another Weeping Blue Atlas cedar. Not maybe growing quite as fast. Of course it was a lot smaller than the other one, but I intend to have it go all the way across the back wall. Of course that concrete wall, you can just see the very top of it is new. The bricks were all laid by me. We have marigolds and we have gazania. The azaleas are going to be what's the word? Hedge. They're going to be about 4 feet tall and about 4 feet wide in about 2 years, hopefully. That's the promise. So we'll see if that happens. They're that really, really beautiful flame orange color when they bloom. And the marigolds and the gazania were just to fill in the space until they grow. We'll put something there. I intend to put weeping phlox at the very edge of the wall also and let it drip over the edge of the wall. This is my wisteria tree. I've had it for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8 years. It was in the Portland house, and I had it trained to go two directions, and then the dudes that put in our new electrical panel broke it. It can't get a view. I'll show a view of it when we get down off the wall. And you can see that half of it died, but it's doing very well. I've staked it down to give it a different kind of a shape because it isn't going to do what it was going to do because it got broken. But it's very happy. It bloomed its very first bloom this year, so that was wonderful. And then we have the roses. Couple roses. So starting at the beginning, this is actually a really prolific bloomer, and I will get a better picture of it on the other side. This is Heart of Gold. You can see all the buds. It has taken a little break from blooming. A lot of them have done that recently, and they're just coming back. That's why I wanted to make this tape today, because they were all coming back. This one's Rio Samba. It got a little traumatized when we planted it, so it hasn't grown as much. But when it blooms in every color. It starts yellow with peach, and then it turns into all peach, and then it eventually fades to almost white. It really, really changes colors. This is Legends. Almost have to take a step back to get a better picture. Get a good shot of one of these. They're just huge. The blooms are enormous. About the size of my hand, maybe a little bigger than my hand. Just gorgeous. It looks even better from the other side, which I'll go over there. This is Rock and Roll. You can't even see where it begins and ends because it's just so big. It blooms obviously in the red and white, like that. Some of them are more pink, some of them are red, some of them are more white. There's one almost completely red. Some more buds. Gonna bloom again. And then overlapping with that is, this is Paradise. Obviously, blooms with the pink outside and kind of a lavender inside. They turn darker pink when they get older, like that, and like that. And like that. Next we have Fragrant Plum. Here, put your nose up there and sniff. There you go, sniff, sniff. Another one similar to Paradise, just a little bit more lavender. That's a good one. And then Moonstone is next. Here's a good example of Moonstone, the pink. I don't know how much shadow there is. See this one. Very, very, very pale pink in white flower. Some of them never get the hot pink. Most of them do. Got some painted daisies. I planted from seed. If you've never seen them before, it's because you can't transplant them. You can't buy them in the stores. Nope. Keep it down over there, you. Anyway, I had some extra water leaking out of my drip system, and so I put seeds down, and then next thing you know, they've gone crazy. One gazania, nope, sorry, gaillardia, 2 lantanas, an African, more painted daisies. So, backing up a little bit just to show stairs off of our patio. I'll turn around and show you the patio in a little bit, but we have an arch over the stairs and a couple more roses. This is Joseph's Coat, named that way, of course, because of all the different colors that it blooms at once. I think there's a burgundy one around the other side. I'll go see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. So, and they will turn a pale yellow. Also, there's a really pretty one up there. All the different colors. And then Don Juan is the red one. These blooms last longer than any I've ever seen, but they don't retain their color. They're very, 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 very deep red when they first bloom. I think this is probably the newest one, but it's still not the colors they are when they first bloom. They eventually will turn pink. They last forever. Over here's my herb garden. I overplanted it. It's kind of a mess, unfortunately. But I've got 2 mints, which I won't do next year because I have had no use for them. I've got 2 basils I have had plenty of use for. This thing in the front here is fernleaf dill, which I love in the fish. Lavender thyme. Way back there is a French tarragon. The tag said it was going to bloom or grow to be 4 or 5 feet tall, so I put it in the back. Well, it never did, but I will do things differently next year. Did a couple strawberries, tried to cover them from the birds, and the tomatoes. The tomatoes happened to the strawberries. I have not been able to keep this thing under control. I've hacked, I've whacked, and I can't keep it standing up. I can't do anything with it. It's got so many tomatoes on it, I can't keep up. I don't think I'll do, if I do any next year, I'll only do 1 for sure, but I don't know, maybe I'm going to do 1 because it's just not that big a deal. Anyway, I'm going to back up even further to show the wall. This was all new. That shed wasn't there. It was actually over against that fence. That fence existed, the tall one, and that one was there but in a different form. So those were replaced, but they existed. So the shed was up against that where the dahlias are way over there. Wall, we put in and painted. This fence is all new. There was a fence here, but we replaced it. All this gravel is new. This was just a slopey grass at the time we started the project, and we had it excavated and gravel put down, and now we park here. There will be a garage here when we get to the next phase, which we need a break from in the worst way. So going back this way, just take another look at the roses from this vantage point, which is kind of more dramatic. Here's a good little moonstone down there. Not sure if that shows. The Gaillardia, I was doing a very good job of deadheading, and that's one of the reasons why it's gotten so big, I think. But I have not been able to get close to it for all the bees. Not even close. I can't get close to it. They were not backing off, so I had to quit deadheading it. That's okay, I was tired of doing it anyway. Here's a very good example of fragrant plum. Sniff that one. It does, of course, smell very nice. Sniff, sniff. Paradise. Rock and roll overlapping paradise. And way up there, still rock and roll. Way over here, still rock and roll. It is rocking and rolling. And then legends. Woof. I wish I could zoom out further. I can go backwards. That's all I can do. Insane. They're so big. Rio Samba. Here's a little bit older bloom. See how it's turned peach as opposed to the yellow. And it will literally keep on fading until it is so close to white. And then Moonstone just coming off of taking a break. But they've all taken a break. But they're gonna really keep on going. As you can see, the buds are just everywhere. This is a better example of heart of gold. And it keeps changing color too. It fades to lighter, lighter, lighter. Here's my poor little broken wisteria. That part that's sticking up there is completely and utterly dead. There's nothing even tried to grow out of it. but it was literally two directional. It was kind of a right angle plan. But now it's just going to be a tree, and I'm going to make it go up by staking it down like that so that it doesn't go into the yard any further. I want it to just go up. Sorry, I don't know if I'm on it. There we go. It's too bright to see what I'm showing here, but now I will take. There's our motorhome. Seen that many times in pictures. So that's an overview of what it looks like. Obviously, I have a lot of planting to do next spring, but I am okay with that. So now go back to the stairs, past the roses. Hi guys. Up the stairs. Now we see our patio. Oh, this Horace over there, he holds our hose. We had this patio, it wasn't here either. Little path in the middle of it. We had laid, and I designed the cuts in the concrete, which was fun. I didn't know they were going to cut it. I don't know if they show. They kind of are a flared out pattern. Patio is dirty because we have been painting and tromping over it. They probably don't show, but it's kind of an artistic design of the cuts. Over here is little lemon trees. They started from seeds. I'm going to spalier, hopefully, if they live. That's the plan anyway. Topsy-turvy terracotta tower I put together. See the new color of the foundation. And then the deck. I mopped that floor 2 days ago. Does show the dirt quite a bit. But the stairs off this deck came from here, way over here, before we started our project. We had them moved. And then we chopped. I didn't do it, Tom did it. A hole in the deck, and we put the hot tub in it. So that's the hot tub. And that's the yard.